Hello, everyone. Today, I'd like to ask you to consider two requests. The first request has been made of me, and that is people are asking if in some way they can receive the sacrament of reconciliation. And of course, Lent is the perfect time to do that. The problem we have is that we must comply with state norms, which means that we can never have more than 10 people gathered at any one time. Secondly, we must be 6 feet away from one another, and it doesn't make any sense for someone to go to confession and yell across the room while others are standing around waiting and listening. And so the question is how to do it. So putting our little creative minds together, we came up with a possibility that may or may not work, but I think it's worth trying. And this is what I'm proposing for both parishes of our pastorate, St. Francis and St. Louis, that the sacrament of reconciliation would be celebrated at St. Louis because we have the ability to put this plan into action. And the way it would work is that everyone would enter in their car from the 10 Oaks entrance to St. Louis, which means if you are coming from 108, you would turn onto 10 Oaks Road, and then you'll see the sign that says the entrance to St. Louis Parish. And there, in your car, you'll be in a queue, a line. And just as a car wash, as the car in front of you finishes, the next car and the next car. And what that will do is, it will form a line that will go out toward the exit on 108, where our pastoral center is located. And the first person in line would leave their car parked in the queue, go into the building, and immediately upon entering, on the right and left are two very private rooms where Father Peter will be on one room and I'll be on the other. And you can either choose to sit across from the priest, or you'll have a chair where you can sit behind the priest. And in both cases, there's at least a 6-foot disparity, so there will be no problems with contamination. And while those two are having their confessions heard, the next two cars can come up and stand outside the building, and as they exit by another door, then the next two can come in, and so on. And like a car wash, one car after another, and we'll be glad to do that on Saturday from 3 o'clock until 4:30 here at the campus at St. Louis. And I'm hoping that that works. And if it doesn't, we'll try something else, or we'll pray for a greater inspiration. Or if you have any better ideas, you can pass them along as well. So that's the first request. The second request is one that I'd like to make of you, both parishioners at St. Louis and parishioners of St. Francis. And that is, we've queried our database and found that we have over 1,230 seniors over the age of 70. And I'm thinking it might be a wonderful act of charity to reach out to them with a telephone call. We have their names, telephone numbers, and addresses. And we're looking for volunteers to help us make those phone calls from your own home. Many people have said, what can I do? Is there anything I can do to help? And this is a way that a whole family can make a phone call and brighten the day of a senior that might be home alone or wondering if anybody cares, might be feeling isolated. And the way to do it, if you're interested, is members of both parishes to email Vicki Yazwick, who is our Director of Religious Education. And she will then take all the names and then send you by email, a return email, the names and the telephone numbers, etc., that you can call. And if you wish to send a little note, or if your children who may be bored would like to do a little artwork or send a little message, you'll have the address. So if you wish, you can also then go ahead and send them a little note or a card or some little way to lift up their days. We're supposed to love God and neighbor, and I think it's important that we make a sincere effort to reach out to those who are among the most vulnerable at these uncertain times. So thank you for considering both requests. I'm hoping that both will be successful. If not, we'll continue to ask God to inspire us to find ways in which we can stay connected. Thanks for considering both requests. May God watch over you, bless you, and keep you and all of us safe in his loving care. Amen.